All right, guys. What's good? You guys are watching Furby's Corner episode 3. Yo, today, fuck it, we're doing it live. It's like we've done like the first 2 episodes like online.
Are you some scrub who can't handle plus frames? Do you cry every night at the thought of Happy Chaos shooting you full screen? Do you think Wouse loused, even though louse just Faust? Well, do I have the offer for you? Tell him, Lord Knight.
What?
Subscribe to the Beast Coast FGC channel today.
But I was actually here at Next Level today because we're doing like a Soulcalibur tournament. It's the Soulcalibur Monthly, and my guest today is one of the most influential members of the Soulcalibur, specifically Soulcalibur 6 scene, especially in the New York tri-state area. Come on, man, let me big you up, bro.
Oh, God.
Let me big you up. We got my man Ian of Team Deuce Gaming, aka Sabin Deuce, on the mic, man. How you doing, man? Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, doing pretty well, hanging in there. How are you doing, Art?
I'm okay. I'm glad to be
Got
back
the
at some.
monster?
Nas. Yeah, I haven't slept,
Nice.
but yeah, I'm glad to be back. What's up, Apollo? Glad to be back here for some offline NLBC Soulcalibur. It has been a while, and we're gonna have like a tournament shortly after this. So Ian, tell people about yourself, a little bit about yourself, what you do in the scene, how you got involved with Soulcalibur, stuff like that.
So, I guess what I do at the moment, I have the organization Team Dave's really has 2 prongs at this time. We've got the sponsorship, so I have several players from the New York scene that I sponsor to go to whatever majors that they want, hopefully to win, take home some trophies. There's a lot of really great talent in New York, as I hope everybody's aware, in the Soulcalibur scene, and there's not necessarily all of the not everybody can afford to be flying out to every single major, so I'm trying to help the guys out, make sure that they can make it, make sure that they can have a hotel room, etc. And the other part of what I've been doing especially since the pandemic, is hosting tournaments online with a focus on cloud parsec tournaments lately. We started out with NetPlay, and then the folks in the Marvel 3 scene really popularized the use of cloud PCs with parsec as the transport, the video low latency remote control software. Yeah, Parsec. So obviously shout outs to Parsec.
Shout out to Parsec.
And shout outs to all the various general purpose cloud computing hosts that we have. We have Amazon and Google. Now, one of the reasons that I really got into that was when I saw people were doing it, and it was making the net play experience much better by bypassing netcode. I was like, well, this is like my job, right? So I'm a software engineer in my day job, and working with cloud, any sort of cloud computing stuff that right now it's not a huge part of what I'm doing, but it was, and I have a lot of background knowledge on the topic. And so, when people were making these guides to setting up stuff in AWS, and I'm like, oh, I can do that off the top of my head without a guide. So, I just started getting into that, and eventually, have refined it bit by bit, like writing a bit of software here and there to be the glue, to make things run a little bit smoother, to reduce my costs, that sort of thing, and get really good stream quality, which is another thing that thanks to Arturo with his badass high quality recording, that really gave me the kick to try and make sure that our streams are the highest quality as possible. So using the highest quality methods to extract the video from the cloud PC without going through Parsec and ruining the bitrate and all that. So I think that those are all I think my claims to fame in the scene at the moment.
Yeah, you basically said a lot right there, brother.
I went on forever.
So just to recap, so this guy sponsors players to go to tournaments. He runs cloud parsec tournaments as well, highest quality streams. Basically, this guy is keeping Caliber alive on his back, at least in the Northeast. He's definitely doing his part. And it's funny, when I first met you, I believe it was here at Next Level,
Yeah.
and like I thought, like my first impression of you, I thought you were just like a stream monster that was just mad hype that just came to offline to donate. Because literally, you be donating to Match Reno in the chat, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then like you show up and you do it in person, like on your phone. And then I was like, who is this guy? I was like, who is this guy?
Man.
Lo and
It's
behold,
true.
lo and behold, like yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, this I want to see the game succeed, and the best way that for the game to succeed is if the players get paid, right? So Matcherino is a really great tool. That shout out to Matcherino, of course. Fantastic tool for allowing us to have a really good way of directing funds from people who enjoy watching the competitive gameplay to the players actually playing. So
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
great.
sure. Absolutely. Like, I think like this game has I think Match Reno has definitely extended the lifespan of this game.
Absolutely.
That's for damn sure. Like, so I guess I guess we can talk about like how like I got started with the Caliber scene myself and how like we started like collabing like later on down the road. So.
yeah.
My first experience, well, like, Soul Calibur's always been around. I've always seen it at Biggie events, stuff like that. I've always seen it in the Northeast. It's always had, like, a good presence in the Northeast. I would say since as far back as Soul Calibur 2 days. Like, I would see guys
That was
like
mad
Fets.
popular.
Like, I would see guys like Fets and stuff, and, like, a lot of the Northeast guys really be at Biggie tournaments at University of Pinball. And, it still kept going all the way until today. My first experience with the Soul Calibur 6 scene was right across the street from NYC Next Level. RIP iFix Machine.
Yeah.
And yeah, like there were, like I believe right when the game dropped, there was like 1 or 2 tournaments there at iFix, and I had my stream set up over there at iFix. So I was going back and forth from iFix to Next Level, and I think like the week it closed was like one of the early Soul Calibur tournaments, and I had I think I went to Link or something, like some Linkers or Enders. I don't really remember who right now. And like I'm like I've always known guys like Ramon from Chinatown Fair because like you'd play Soul Calibur and Tekken, so like fighting games are like 2 to 3 degrees separation at most.
Yeah.
So anyway, like I think I went up to them and like they're all sad that iFix was closing. I think there was like a 32-man Caliber tournament there.
Ooh, wow.
And like I think I told one of the players, I forget who, I said like come to the Next Level, like I'll hook it up with Match Reno for you guys, like
Nice.
we'll blow this shit up, right?
Yeah.
And they did show the Next Level, and before the pandemic, Soul Calibur 6 was a staple here at Next Level Battle Circuit. Every Wednesday, just like we had Street Fighter, Dragon Ball, and Soul Calibur. Every single Wednesday, Soul Calibur guys would show up like clockwork. Match Reno started blowing up. We were getting like $500 to $1,000 a week for Calibur, consistently. Like we did so many tournaments. Those
are good times.
Yeah, we did so many Caliber tournaments here. We had like some crazy monthlies. Like I believe at the peak of it, like we had like a mini major here. We had 2 streams, Spooky upstairs and me downstairs.
That
And,
monthly,
like,
damn.
that shit was crazy.
That was great.
Even when as far as to do a SC3 AE tournament here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like that
was-
one blew up as well, another $500. But basically, I guess the reason why I'm highlighting it is like to bring some attention to the Caliber scene, because I think for the most part like after fucking with you guys for so long, so Caliber is a small, closely knit community. It's kind of insular, but everybody knows each other. So I guess the question is, it's like what keeps you guys playing Caliber? In this day and age, like what motivates you guys to play it so much? Because you guys are super passionate about it.
Well, so here's the way I see it. I've been playing fighting games since I was a kid, much like that's
Sure.
not unique, but like Soul Calibur.
It's Ender's birthday today, by the way. He's 26.
Yeah.
He's 26.
Shout outs to Enders J, one of
Happy
my
birthday.
players, one of my dear friends who's 26 today. But like the thing with Soul Calibur, it's like I played Street Fighter 2 back in the day. I played
Old head.
Yeah, absolutely.
Old
I mean,
head.
I still remember the Christmas morning when I actually got Street Fighter 2 on the Super Nintendo, and I just opened that up and played it for like hours and hours. But Soul Calibur, definitely one of my favorite game series, going all the way back to Soul Edge on the PlayStation 1. And one of the reasons that I think Soul Calibur is so unique is that the movement and the the execution in Soulcalibur has this like very unique flow to it. That's
Really
very
does.
different
Yeah.
from like a 2D fighting game, or even from Tekken, from other 3D fighting games in its genre, like Dead or Alive and Tekken and all the those Virtua Fighter.
Yeah.
Very different from them.
I mean, it's a 3D weapons fighter, and nothing
Yeah.
really plays like it.
Yeah, so it's the weapons causing all of this different types of space control, and the movement, just the way that you execute movement in Soulcalibur is like, it's varied from installment to installment, but overall it has this very unique quality to it that keeps people who enjoy it coming back. So for me, I played a whole ton of Soulcalibur in college, Soulcalibur 1 and 2 at the time. And then, 4 and 5, I no longer had a lot of people to play with in my vicinity. And, at the time, I wasn't really, like, aware that there was a
Competitive
whole...
scene?
Yeah, the competitive scene wasn't something I really, like, learned about heavily until... Actually, it was around that time, actually, I learned about Street Fighter being competitive, and I started like watching that on the internet and getting sort of engaged with that, and tried to go to a couple of tournaments for that. But Soulcalibur, I didn't realize had a competitive scene until I think it was Evo 2014.
Dang.
Yeah, because like obviously it was happening, but it's like, where do you find the info about that? And I basically 8-Way Run was the
source.
place. Yeah, that was the source.
source.
But it wasn't like in your face the way we have social media these days. The forum is a place you had to go and participate
You had to
and
know.
engage.
You had to know what was up. And
Yeah,
and it was kind of low key. Like basically, Calibur's always been low key, but
Yeah.
they've been doing their thing for sure.
And I think that part of having that, like the way that community has progressed, you have people who really enjoy the way that gameplay works, and then they stick together because we want to keep playing it. We don't want to be in a situation where we have no one else to play with. So that causes the tight knit community of people that are brought together by the unique type of gameplay that Soulcalibur offers.
Yeah, sure.
And everybody is like really cool. Like that was something that kept me here when I decided to show up to NLBC that one time. The first time I showed up to the next level, and just like stuck around because everybody was so welcoming.
Yeah, everybody was so welcoming and really into it. But I mean, one of the reasons why I really respect the Caliber scene personally is like, so from my perspective, like I've seen all types of games come in and out of the FGC, right? And so Soulcalibur 6, pretty good game, but you guys have all the chips stacked against it. Like you guys, basically, the community has defied all the odds in order to keep the scene going.
Yeah,
no rollback netcode. Bandai barely acknowledges the game's existence. There hasn't been any updates in a year and a half. But guess what? None of that fucking matters. We're still keeping it going. Like,
you know what the thing is though, if you look at even much older games, like Soulcalibur 6 is by all means a modern fighting game. It's on the PlayStation 4. It was 2018. But then you look at all these other games that are way older, like Third Strike. We got Third Strike going on in the basement. That's a scene that has like no
22
bounds.
years,
There's so many people still playing that game.
The thing is with Third Strike, there's somebody that's really motivated to keep the scene going. Just the Mutant Experience of the Jazzy circuit. He has the drive just like how you have for Soulcalibur 6 to really, really keep the game alive. The types of things you guys do, although it's different, in the terms of, you focus more on the Northeast scene, it's like the passion is there.
Yeah, exactly.
And, that's really what you need.
Yeah, that's really, I think, just something that will keep any given fighting game that's good enough to keep going like that, is you have people who really want to be playing that and not something else that's just more popular by virtue of it coming out more recently. And of course, there's, like you said, the deck is stacked against us. Even if you go before Soulcalibur 6, look at what happened to Soulcalibur 5 with the development process getting like truncated the way it was, and the game being kind of like lackluster on release. Of course, A lot of people loved it. A lot of people still played it.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how many adversarial events show up for us. And as far as Namco support, it really did feel great for that 2 years where Namco support was like continuous and like we were getting updates, we were getting DLC, we were getting all this great stuff. It really felt good.
Oh, for 5?
For 6.
Oh, for 6? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So just the period after it released when we got the 2 waves of DLC, all of this engagement with Okubo-san and being the producer and talking to us directly, it really felt good. But now we're in that period after support ends and just chilling, which is really depressing when you look at Tekken, which got support much, much longer than after its initial release, being like a sibling game. It just sort of sucks to see that. See them continue to get support and messaging even now.
Yeah, Namco, if you guys are listening, don't forget about Soulcalibur, guys.
Please don't.
Please don't.
Please don't forget.
But at the same time, it's kind of like give and take. It's like from my experience in the FGC, sometimes you don't want to be too close to the developers, right? Like sometimes you just want to kind of be under the radar because, like, you kind of do your own thing. So it's give and take. But then other times you want Daggy developer to like hold your hand and push you up and prosper, right?
Yeah,
so it depends.
I guess that's totally fair. I mean, you could even look at Nintendo with
Yeah,
Smash Brothers.
yeah. You don't want to be too close to Nintendo, right?
Yeah. They will just pull the rug out from under you at any given point. But yeah, it's sort of rough because on the one hand, you're right. It's like, now the game is kind of finished and we can just keep going with it. But on the other hand, it's harder for to attract new players when the game is kind of in the state it is, and that's it. If it's still getting work done on it, then that has a more attraction for new players. But and then the other thing that you just have to address the elephant in the room is the netcode, right? Like that's it's not the worst. It's not the worst netcode, but it's also not
the best.
Good. It's not good, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's definitely under ideal situations. This is, as someone who runs Parsec tournaments, I can say under ideal situations, the Soulcalibur 6 netcode is actually pretty decent. But as soon as you deviate from that even a little bit, it just like starts doing things that are very disruptive to you.
Dot Caliber. Yeah.
Don't get me started about Dot Caliber.
That's one of the reasons why we even started doing this in the first place.
Oh my god. Even disregarding that, which is super aggravating and awful, like just the way that lag introduces itself into the gameplay flow when it happens, when you get packet loss and that sort of thing.
Sure, it's annoying
just,
as hell.
It really ruins everything you want to do. And it's the same with all fighting games, but like, it hurts a lot.
That's true. Like, but yeah, I mean, even though I did say all the negatives, like I said, like you guys do have like a lot of positives going for the scene as well. Like, I really do believe that without Maturino, like this game wouldn't have stayed alive as long as it has. Right? Like straight up, like there's been so many events where like we raised so much money and gotten so much interest for things we couldn't have done years ago.
Yeah.
So that's really awesome. Like I'm really happy to see that. Another question I wanted to ask, like, can you talk a little bit like about your team and some of the players that you sponsor?
Absolutely. I would love nothing more than to shout out all of the fantastic players. So, founding member with basically the one that I decided to form the team sort of because of is Ender's J, who actually I have to give credit here because this is something very, very funny, a funny story. I decided to come to Next Level in about, I think it was like November of 2018. This was like basically right after, it might have been a little bit later than that, maybe in December or so, but it was after the game came out and iFix was already gone, right? So then, as you said before, you brought the scene into Next Level, started doing the weeklies at Next Level Battle Circuit, right? So I was watching these on Twitch, and I really hadn't worked up the courage to actually go myself. I was just kind of like,
that's why I thought you were a she monster.
Yeah, I did enjoy watching, and I was like, man, it's right there. It's in Brooklyn. That's not far from me. I could just go. It was Ender's J who came into the Siegfried character Discord and was just talking, and he somehow This is the most bizarre thing, and I have to I don't know how he managed this, but he recognized my name from a match at oh god, what was it called? Brooklyn Beatdown, I think it was. Street Fighter V that got streamed
You were there?
Yeah, man, I was there. Like I told you, I played Street Fighter and I was bad at it, and I went to tournaments and I was continued to be bad at it. I never got the kind of because going to a weekly Next Level Battle Circuit, I knew about it. I just never worked up. So I'm too terrible to fight these guys.
It's pretty intimidating. To be fair, next level is pretty intimidating. It's
absolutely.
It has that Chinatown Fair mentality where it's like survival of the fittest.
Especially for Street Fighter, it was just I was listen, I'm not good enough to play this game with these people. So, but when they have these really big events that aren't the weeklies, right? Brooklyn Beatdown's man, I could take a train and be there in 20 minutes. I can be at Atlantic Avenue in 20 minutes. So I went, and my very first match, because this tournament had such a huge prize pool, I had to fight. The entire bracket was completely stacked with players that were amazing, and my very first match was against Wolfcrone, and they put it on stream, and I got horribly bopped. It was very embarrassing. And then so there's stream footage of that, and Enders J recognized my name from that match.
Wow.
And he said, "Hey, you're in New York, right? I saw you." I'm like, "Yeah,
that's
I am."
so funny.
He's like, "You should come to the Next Level. It's great. We have weekly tournaments there." I'm like, really? I know, but man. And then I just decided to do it, and that was that. And so shout outs to him. It's as we said before, it's his birthday today. So happy birthday, Enders J. Really good guy, really close friend. And then player number 2 was if you watch competitive caliber on online tournaments, you absolutely know his name, Incendiate. One of the best Zhonghua mains in the business.
Oh, absolutely.
Winning pretty much everything that isn't strictly West Coast. Shout outs to Wednesday Night Fights. And even then, he's doing pretty well.
Yeah.
But, Incendiate is one of the most talented young players that I've seen in the scene.
Absolutely. It's always amazing. It's always amazing to see fresh talent,
and
really blowing it up.
And that's one of those things where, like I said, I want to be able to highlight that and make sure that kids like that can go to tournaments and win, right? So that's and that was really one of the main things that I was thinking about when I quote unquote formed the brand, as it were, the Team Deus brand. And then, as time went on, I was like, okay, there are more people that I really want to promote and highlight, like Yoki, who also...
Douche Yoki, doing her thing.
Yoki is a fantastic player and, is absolutely, as I said,
of course.
It's just imperative to make sure that we can highlight these folks and get them out to
of course.
majors to be able to show how good they
are. And of course, I was glad to do my little part to help. What was that? What was that big caliber tournament that everybody got flown out to during COVID?
Oh, was it Kumite? Was it one of the Kumites? No,
not Kumite. Not Kumite.
Oh gosh.
Just ask Yoki. She's right there. Was that
Yoki? What was that tournament that? It was the one that it was like you and Joe in the finals, right? That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
The grand.
No, that was KIT. The one that you guys all flew out to during COVID. No, internationally.
Oh, what, First Attack? No. Oh no, Waffle. We're talking about.
Yeah.
We're talking about
Waffle,
Waffle, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
My bad.
I'm sorry.
I thought we were talking about. I thought we were talking about. Yeah. So the whole the I don't remember what that. WePlay. That's it. Thank you.
Oh yeah. So
someone
it
in chat.
WePlay.
The WePlay tournament that,
I definitely put in my hat into the ring, and they're like, "What Soulcalibur players you want?" I'm like, I want to get some Team Deuce in there.
Shout outs to WePlay trying to make things happen, and it was even with or without Namco's support, it was a really great time for everybody who went, as I've heard. And we have a few
Linkors in there.
Yeah,
as
exactly.
Well.
So Linkors.
Yeah. It wasn't only Team Deuce. It's like I basically nominated like a lot of the Northeast talent.
Yeah, we definitely got, Linkers, of course, one of the best players in the scene, was a lock, then Arturo managed to get Yoki in there, and I was very appreciative of that. It was such a great production, and it's a shame that, of course, everything that's happened since then.
Like it was all during COVID.
Yeah. And just last but not least, of course, Ramon, who's like one of the pillars of Soulcalibur community.
Yeah, that's been the homie forever.
Like if you know Soulcalibur, you know Ramon, because he's one of the now one of the premier content creators actually for Soulcalibur.
I actually met him playing Tekken 5 DR Chinatown Fair. He's playing Asuka. It's like that's actually how I know.
Nice.
He's always showing up with his pad. It's like, who the fuck's this pad player, right?
Oh man, he was playing on at Chinatown Fair.
Yeah.
Wow, okay,
it's pretty hardcore.
Damn. So Ramon, Ramon is one of the as I said, the pillars of the community, and he
For sure.
he helps promote the Dave's brand by being who he is, being just like a generally great guy.
As being loud, awesome, funny as fuck.
All of that, exactly.
Just being himself.
That describes it perfectly. Yep. And now that he's been streaming for 2 years, that's like another.
Oh yeah. He did
like,
collect donations to get a stream computer. I remember that specifically.
Yeah, and I helped him build it.
Yeah, nice.
I picked out all the parts. We went to Micro Center over there.
Yeah, awesome.
So that's the team, and yeah.
Oh yeah. So before we get to the next part of the podcast, I have to shout out one of the sponsors that makes this all possible. So this episode is not only powered by Beast Coast, but it's powered by Honey. So I'm gonna put it on stream so you guys can check it out. Let me let's take a look and go through it. Let me fix that font size. But shout outs to Honey. 1920 by 1080. There we go. Cause I need you guys to see like a little bit better. So guys, Honey is sponsoring this podcast, and they did recently get acquired by PayPal, and it's a way to save money through online coupons. You can add it to Chrome for free using the extension. It's a quick extension that allows you to add it to Chrome, Safari, Firefox, or Opera. And while you shop, Honey will find working promo codes on the internet for you. And with one click, Honey will apply some of the best deals to your cart. It really is that easy. How you can use it on your phone, and saves you a ton of money across a ton of brands. And if you want to sign up for them, just use the promo link I have in the chat. Joinhoney.com/Furby. Shout out to them for basically funding the podcast. Really helping me out to make this cool content like we have right here with Team Sabin Deuce of Team Deuce Gaming, man. All right, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Shout out to Honey once again. All right, so I guess the next chapter is we talked about the players, we talked about your team, talked a little bit about the grassroots. Right now, the game was going on for about 2 years. We had the 2-year anniversary here at Next Level, right before COVID happened.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So can we transition a bit into how this game stayed alive during the COVID era and stuff like that? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think what happened immediately as soon as all of the, physical places had to close due to the pandemic, right? Everybody sort of took up the, trying to keep the game alive online, and that's really what it came down to. We had back in the olden days, the very early 2020s, it was us, right?
Yeah,
repping
really
Next Level,
us.
NLBC.
It
was.
I was so happy. So when we started that, I was so happy that we had that momentum from offline leading into online, because that really helped during the early days. Because even though the conditions weren't the most ideal, had to deal with Caliber and net play lag and all that. We were still raising good amount of money every week, and you were donating hundreds yourself every freaking week.
I mean, but when you think about it, right? It's that was my way of trying to keep the scene alive. And online is even it's a harder sell, because online is not the same.
Not the same. It's definitely not the same.
So that was really what I was doing at the time. But
those are some of the best. Even though it wasn't the best gameplay wise, I will say that was some of the best captured Soulcalibur 6 footage that exists on the internet.
Yep.
So I was in true 4K 60 FPS, can find that FGC Sabin on YouTube if you want to see what those look like.
Absolutely.
But yeah, go on, brother.
High quality. And then, of course, at the time it was us. It was Boom running the Maryland local. Of course, when you get to NetPlay, it's really you in North America, you can really think of it more by coast, right? So we had on the East Coast, we had us and Boom
holding it down
on, and then we had on the West Coast, we had Wednesday Night Fights with Big Papa Chunk and Conmai holding it down.
Definitely, they definitely hold it down.
Absolutely. So, and then there were, and I am going to preemptively apologize if I'm missing. There are a few other folks that were running pretty regular online tournaments through this.
Cambosa?
Well, no, Cambosa was working with Boom. Yeah, so it was like Boom and Cambosa. It was like you and me. It was Big Papa Chunk and Conmai. So like, but I think what survived over the years was really just Wednesday Night Fights and NLBC and.
What's up, brother? I'm doing podcast now. Look, I'm doing podcast now. Shout out to Daisuke. He's gonna be like my next guest soon.
Oh, sweet.
Daisuke, one of the pillars of the Third Strike scene, all the way from Japan. But yeah, go on, brother.
So we have Kajur running Mighty Mooks out in the also West Coast, but that's basically what we have left. And in the in that intervening time, we try a lot of things to keep it going.
We did.
Various majors did a lot of online stuff, but there wasn't a huge focus on Soulcalibur, and part of that I think had to do with the netcode, really. So
yeah, it was rough.
So like for example, we had some exhibition matches at Combo Breaker Online.
Yeah, some Combo Breaker. I think Bud Light. Yeah, I think Bud Light did some.
And then there was, of course, the Bud Light League happened. So that was when we actually had support from Namco. Because remember, here's something important. We had this momentum for all the community tournaments, but we were actually going to get a tournament series sponsored by Namco that got aborted due to this. We just, great. We're acknowledged by Namco. We're going to be in the same league as Tekken. We're going to have qualifiers at all of these different majors. And that turned to nothing. Tekken did get some online love. Soulcalibur eventually also got a little online love, which we participated in. It was really it was sponsored a bit, but community driven.
I remember.
Yeah, it was good times. I got a decent number of T-shirts out of that.
Wasn't JJJ on the mic for the Bud Light thing? I think so. I don't remember.
Was he on? I think the Bud Light one. I'm trying to remember because there was also the.
I know PlayStation was on.
The PlayStation tournaments.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. It gets so blurry after a certain point.
I know that Ebonic Plague did a lot of that.
Yeah, he did.
But yeah, so in the meantime, we were basically just running these community tournaments, and I remember one of the big ones that we did, the production-wise, was when Evo was kind of one of these huge international events that brought people together from all over. Asia and Europe and et cetera. People showed up from everywhere. And when that got canceled and double canceled, really, it turned into a whole thing for everyone that sort of got abandoned by it. And the Soulcalibur community came together to try and do a worldwide tournament that was Soulcalibur Without Borders, which you remember.
Oh yeah. I was handling the match arena.
Yeah. So that was a pretty huge production because we had essentially an invitational running in almost every region that you could think of, and that was huge.
That was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. So I helped with the production on that because at this point we're just trying to figure out ways to keep the game alive, and I'm doing what I can to try and help, either financially or by actually helping with logistics. And at that point was when Parsec started to gain popularity.
Oh yeah, for sure. Parsec decided to gain popularity, and I remember when that was around the time when we were balls deep in the online stuff, and the numbers started to drop a bit because people were not happy with online.
Yeah.
So that was when you came to me. We started talking about Parsec, and like I told you, you already knew the Parsec stuff, but I was telling you the stream stuff.
Yeah.
about like how I was doing it with the RTMP and stuff.
Yep.
And we basically
That's
collaborated on like ideas, and you definitely made it better by removing Docker for starters.
A very minor thing in the grand scheme of things, I feel. But yeah, that like just that sort of thing that you're talking about there with just like setting up that kind of servers is that's stuff I get paid to do, in my real job, my day job, So trying to make that work for Soulcalibur, no brainer.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Exactly.
Yeah, so what I was seeing from a lot of the Parsec streams is, it's like I was communicating to Ian, is that pretty much like the gameplay was great. Like it was a lot less laggy than the traditional online solutions, but the stream quality was not up to the par that I wanted it to be. Right, so like we did some little fixes here and there. Told him some stream settings here and there, and he was able to not only adjust it to scale. Like even got to the point where you had like a web browser, attorney voyeur, where you could just select channels like SCTV live all the time. And I remember we had showed it to the Parsec team, and they were super impressed. They were like, "Holy shit! Like you guys are blowing it up," basically.
Listen, so like this is what I'm talking about. Like anywhere I can see an opportunity to add a little bit of elbow grease, things to make it easier for that sort of stuff to run, to make it, because like the tourney voyeur, that that was just me thinking about one of the big differences between having an offline tournament and having an online tournament is that people are playing all the time at offline tournaments. You just watch because the screen's right there. You just like stand over the shoulder, and that's like a big part of it. Of all offline tournaments is these matches. If they're not streamed, that doesn't matter. You're there. You can watch it directly. So I was like, well, there's no reason I can't do that with the cloud PCs. The cloud PCs are mine. I can run OBS on them. So that means I can make the streams available. And that was, that's the foundation of that technology. And that's just like, okay, make a little website. Why not?
Like, I mean, it was really awesome. Like, it got to the point where, like, I was having way too much fun with the channels, and I would just go back and forth and like rack up. Sorry for blowing up your bandwidth, Bill. Because I was having way too much fun, just going back and forth. Like got to the point where there's no downtime, right? Like, there's so much content, but it really was amazing. It's like we were able to expand on that and pull off some amazing online tournaments. You mentioned Soulcalibur Without Borders, but then Deus Ex Kylo.
Deus Ex Kylo. It was a sort of a after Soulcalibur Without Borders happened, I thought to myself, with Parsec, you can basically like, it was really just a matter of testing it and getting enough people to say this is good.
You can have East Coast versus West Coast play.
Yeah, exactly. Because there aren't actually as many neutral ground locations as I'd want. There's really two big ones. There's Iowa that has a Google data center, and there's Houston that has a Microsoft data center. And I chose, Google is the cloud provider that I'm most familiar with. So when I was setting this up, I just, started some stuff up on Iowa and asked people on the West Coast and people on the East Coast to try it out. And people were like, yeah, this is pretty acceptable. Like, yes, it's delayed, obviously. There's no escaping physics. But
as long as you have that central server, latency should be okay, right?
It chops out a decent percentage of the coast to coast latency, and it's stable. If your internet is stable, Parsec will be stable.
Thankfully, the game has like a pretty significant input buffer, which compensates for the lag.
That's true.
A lot.
Exactly.
That helps a lot.
Yeah, and that's like built into the gameplay really a lot. So I just said, okay, you know what? If we can have people from all across North America playing generally well without really a huge amount of problem, let's just run a whole big tournament on Parsec, right? And let's just run it in Iowa.
Yeah.
And that turd blew up.
Yeah, it blew up.
A lot of donations to Matcherino that first time.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then like and then we got to see like the rise of some of the online stars like Noah.
Yeah. There's a bunch of players that have only been able to compete since, or maybe just able to compete online, and since COVID having taken everything online, it's catapulted them to the spotlight because there aren't a lot of offline tournaments happening. So you get these folks that can only participate online showing up all the time and just beating people, just like squashing the competition.
Yeah, man. Oh, wow. Wow. What a journey. Like,
Yeah.
literally, like, what a journey. It's
Oh,
like,
man.
so, anyway, like, the whole point of this podcast was to talk about how Soulcalibur 6 started, went against all the odds, and, like, we're still here. Still here, like, kicking. And we're going to have a tournament, like, immediately after this podcast.
Yep. We got a big chunk of people here. I'm gonna get my ass kicked.
Yeah, but it's all good. But like the whole point of this podcast, was of course, highlight Ian and like what he's done for the scene. Like I think like this scene, you're a crucial member of the scene, and like a lot of things would not happen without you. But
Appreciate it.
I don't want to. But I don't want to like I also don't want to forget the contributions from many other community members around the world. Like obviously I'm focusing on you, but there are a lot of people that have been doing a lot of great work in other areas of the world to really keep this game alive.
Absolutely.
Like I see Big Papa Chunk in the chat.
Can I shout out some folks?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
shout some folks. Go ahead.
So obviously, Chunk is out there already watching. Shout outs to him for holding down Wednesday Night Fights just so completely with no breaks practically for 2 years at this point.
He's holding it down.
Weekly, I can't even. It's so. Oh my god.
Yeah, we had to stop doing weekly.
Yeah, we were just getting burned out. You know, and Chunk is just like he's a machine. And then people like Boom, of course, being like community pillars. If he's not running a regular tournament, that's okay. He's contributing a lot. We're running a league right now that's just like a huge team 6v6 full round robin. We're gonna have playoffs soon with that. It's pretty great. A lot of fun. A lot of the team mechanics add a lot of interesting camaraderie stuff to the storylines there. Obviously, this is one of the greatest guys in the Soulcalibur community. We've got Chapter 47 out in Pacific Northwest. He just hosted a really amazing, effectively what is a monthly like rotating game tournament, but the one for Soulcalibur, he swung in and he just like made it epic. A lot of folks went out there and had like nothing but good things to say about the parties that he threw. So shout outs to Chapter, and he also sponsors a lot of Pacific Northwest players, and we actually have one of them here at the good old Next Level Local Florida man. Shout outs to him.
Oh, he's here. Awesome.
He's here. He's right over there.
Snap.
He is going to be a real problem for everyone trying to, keep the NLBC status quo going. And then everyone else. There's a whole bunch of folks out in Europe and Asia and just like keeping
of course
the game alive. But just speaking from our sort of local perspective, those folks have been really doing a whole lot. I also give a shout out to Kajur, who's been running off and on these tournaments I think, I'm trying to remember what his region is, but it's like a West Coast-ish, like maybe like Mountain Time region. But like shout outs to him for keeping that scene alive. And like so many folks just doing various amounts of work, really like just hammering at it. It's
like I said, that's why I respect you guys, because like I said, like you guys made the best of a situation where it's like the cards are stacked against you, and I'm no stranger to like keeping scenes alive where like all the cards are stacked against you. So I definitely feel you there. So like I guess my final couple of wrap up questions is before we start the tournament. What's next for the grassroots caliber scene in the immediate immediate to medium term future?
Glad you asked. So actually, some of the people I just mentioned got together, and we're talking about the Evo is of course coming up. As I hope everybody saw the announcement that there's going to be 9 really awesome games that are highlighted as main stage games at Evo, which is returning to Las Vegas this year. None of them are Soulcalibur 6, of course. We didn't,
like I said, like the card stacked against you.
Exactly.
Just like Virtua Fighter, card stacked against it.
But one of the great things about Evo is the firm support of community tournaments. So we are going to be running a tournament, side tournament at Evo, and by we I mean Chapter 47, myself and Big Papa Chunk. So across North America, just uniting in Las Vegas to run this side tournament at Evo, and hopefully we can get a lot of just international participation, because everybody comes to Evo, right?
Yeah. So I think, like, we'll see what happens. I think this year's gonna be like a reboot.
You'll hear
And,
more
like,
about it soon.
Yeah,
Watch
definitely keep like a lookout for that, guys. And also let the people know where they can follow you and stuff.
Oh yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter at Sabin Deus. That's SABINDEUS. We didn't even talk about the name thing.
Yeah. It's two Sabins in the mic.
Oh man.
Yeah.
We love Final Fantasy 3.
Yeah, basically.
So Twitter at Sabin Deus, and then also the team Twitter account at Team Deus Gaming. That's like the main. FTC
you almost
uses
forgot.
Twitter.
Yeah,
What did I forget?
you forgot NY Caliber.
Oh, damn. Also very important at NY Caliber for New York specific Caliber stuff. Like, obviously my own personal account is one thing, but we actually have a separate account specifically for everything related to New York Soulcalibur scene. For example, this tournament. If you want to learn about monthlies happening at Next Level, follow that. If you want to learn about online tournaments happening, follow that. We announce everything there.
Yep, and like we're still gonna keep it strong. We just finished the last Caliber online monthly. No, thank you for holding it down for me while I knocked the fuck out. I just uploaded the VODs to that. Yeah,
I had no problems.
It was nice and easy. I made it nice and easy for you.
It was very, very nice. And easy.
But yeah, guys, it does look like the tournament is about to start soon. So I'm gonna switch gears to the tournament. Ian, thank you so much for taking the time to
no
chill
problem,
out
I enjoyed
and come here and be online. So to give a shout out to the sponsor one more time. Once again, shout out to Beast Coast. And, this tournament is powered by beastcoast.gg and, of course, Honey, also acquired by PayPal. And once again, Honey, you can save money with online coupons. You can add extensions to Chrome, Opera, Safari, or Firefox completely free. And, it'll just automatically add coupons for you, right? If you want to check it out and sign it up, joinhoney.com/Furby. If you want to sign up for that, the referral link really helps because they are bankrolling this podcast. You got some guest savings on the go, and as you can see, they've the average person can save $126 a year, $1 billion in total savings found, and they'll find a discount of 18%. And there's over 30,000 participating stores, and it is backed by PayPal, which is a huge behemoth. So make sure you check them out, show them some love. Joinhoney.com/Furby. Ian, thank you so much, man.
Thank you. It was really a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And, I think I heard my name called, so I'm probably going to end up getting bopped really early now.
Yep.
So
It's all good. It's all good, guys. All right, cool. So hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. And, let me set up for the tournament.